Big. The word big means large. It's the opposite of small. This adjective can be used in many different ways. I made a big mistake. You've got a big problem on your hands. They live in a really big house. This is going to be big. This band is big in Europe. Let's go big. She's not real big on country music. This isn't big on our list of things to do. We've got a big day ahead of us. Bobby is a big brother to his two little sisters. That man's got a big heart. Teenagers have big appetites. Mary isn't fat. She's just big boned. Some Olympic athletes get big heads after winning in competition. Fred is starting to get big from weightlifting. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. That was very big of you to accept responsibility. The Big Bang Theory explains the origins of the universe. Hey, big guy, what's up? No big deal. Big deal.
Bill. The word bill is often associated with money. Whether you pay for something or ask for payment, you can use this word. Bill is often used as a verb. The city billed us $10,000 for street repairs. We were billed $10,000 for street repairs done by the city. The dentist billed John for a couple of fillings. John was billed for some dental work. The plumber billed me $200 to fix the toilet. I was billed $200 for some plumbing work. You also hear bill used as a noun. John received a bill from the dentist's office. The dentist's office sent him a bill. Bills are sent out from the utility companies once a month. Do you understand everything that's on your bill? Last month's bill for electricity was kind of high. Fatma paid her bill before leaving the restaurant. The mechanic gave me a bill for the work that he did on my car. Finally, we use the word bill when describing different denominations of money. This is a $10 bill. I have a $5 bill in my wallet. The cashier gave me a bunch of $1 bills. Whose picture is on the $100 bill?
Bind. The word bind means to combine, hold, or put things together. Sometimes it's used when limiting growth or stopping the expansion of something. You can bind stacks of paper with string. You can bind sheets of paper with glue to make a book. Metal workers use solder to bind pieces of metal together. The Chinese used to bind women's feet to keep them small and petite. I have to get a new pair of shoes because the ones I have now are binding my toes. The word bind is often used in the passive voice. The past participle for bind is bound. Books are bound with glue and some kind of string to hold the pages together. Doctors are bound by a moral obligation to help their patients and relieve suffering. He was bound and gagged when the police found him. To make the adjective form of the word, add ing. This contract is legally binding. The word bind is often heard in this popular expression. I'm in a bind. She was in a bind, but her father helped her. Tony got his friend out of a bind. When you are in a bind, you are in trouble and you need help. The problem can take any form, but it often involves money. Binder. A binder provides protective covering and organization for paper, school assignments, photos, reports, or anything else that requires easy access. A binder looks a little like a book. A stack of binders are on the desk. I use binders to organize teaching materials for my classes. This is a 3-ring binder. Materials can be added or taken out by opening the rings. Bit. The word bit is a noun that is used for an amount. A large amount is quite a bit. A small amount is a little bit or a tiny bit. A bit can be large or small. I'll see you in a little bit. Their company made quite a bit of money last year. She needs a bit of time to consider her decision. This will hurt a little bit, said the nurse as she vaccinated her patient. He knows quite a bit about computers. They'll need a bit of time to find new jobs. She's a bit angry at her boss. I'll have just a tiny bit of that cake, not too much. Notice that bit is usually used with the article a. There are a few other ways to use the word bit. Drill bits are attached to a drill when drilling holes in wood, metal, or concrete. A person controls a horse through the placement of a bit that goes in the horse's mouth. The bit is attached to the reins. A bit can be a short performance. He's doing a 10-minute comedy bit. The word bit is also the past tense of the verb bite. Sarah bit into her sandwich. Jimmy bit his little brother. I accidentally bit my tongue. Bite. When using the front teeth to eat food or tear something, you can use the word bite. Someone took a bite out of this donut. Someone bit into the donut. The first sentence shows how bite is used as a noun. The second sentence uses bite as a verb in the past tense. The simple form is bite. Past tense, bit. Past participle, bitten. You can also use the word bite when describing the activities of animals and insects. 1. A mosquito is going to bite him. 2. He's going to be bitten. 3. He's going to get a mosquito bite if he doesn't do something. In the first and second sentences, bite is a verb. In the third sentence, bite is a noun. Here are a few more examples. The government takes a bite out of your paycheck in the form of taxes. Jim's guitar strap is biting into his shoulder. Conrad was offered a new job if he agreed to move to New York, but he didn't bite on the offer. Additional police officers on the streets of Minneapolis are taking a bite out of crime downtown. Blackout. When the electrical power is shut off by accident or because of weather-related problems, we call this a blackout. A severe ice storm caused a blackout in many parts of the city. A blackout during the Super Bowl resulted in a 34-minute delay of the game. It's a good idea to keep candles handy in case of a blackout. Power was slowly restored during the blackout. If a blackout lasts too long, you have to think about what to do with the food in your refrigerator. Rolling blackouts are common in countries where the government needs to conserve electricity. Blackouts were common in Baghdad during the war. Blame. To say that a person or a thing is responsible for a negative situation is to place blame. There's an effort to identify the source or the reason why something bad happened. You can use this word as a verb or as a noun. Tom blamed the driver of the other car for the accident he was in? Who was to blame for the accident? Tom said the other driver was to blame. Teresa blames her husband's gambling habit for their current financial situation. The children were blamed for starting the fire, but they weren't the only ones responsible. "Don't blame me for your test results," said the teacher. "You didn't study." Who's to blame for putting the ice cream cone on top of the computer? You can also use blame as a noun. Who gets the blame for the accident? The blame goes to the person who failed to yield. There's enough blame to go around for this situation. The teacher got the blame for the students' poor test results. Blank. The word blank is similar to the words empty and nothing. If something is blank, nothing is there. You can use blank as a noun, a verb, or as an adjective. His mind is blank. He blanked on the question. He's pulling up blanks. These sentences use blank as an adjective. Wynn needs a blank piece of paper for her assignment. There's something wrong with my computer. The screen is completely blank. Newspapers don't have a lot of blank space on their pages. These sentences use blank as a verb. The teacher felt a little embarrassed when he blanked on her name. Tina blanked on the test. She couldn't remember anything. I'm sorry, I'm blanking. These sentences use blank as a noun. You need to fill in the blanks on this form. My mind is a blank. The man on stage pulled a blank when asked a simple question. Blast. A blast is an explosion or some sort of strong force, such as air, wind, or sound. The blast of a rifle could be heard for miles around. A loud blast awakened everyone in the middle of the night. The blast came from a factory explosion. A blast from an air horn ended the game. A blast of cold air hit us as soon as we left the store and walked out into the snow-covered street. The mayoral candidate was blasted by members of his own party for his participation in the scandal. Loudspeakers were blasting music too loudly for anyone to talk to each other. The word blast is also used when people have a good time. We had a blast at the party. The wedding reception was a blast. That was a blast. The trip we took was a blast. This roller coaster is a blast. Bleed. If a person's skin is cut into or punctured deeply enough, blood comes out from the cut. The flow of blood is described by the verb bleed. The simple form is bleed. The past tense is bled. The past participle is bled. Wendy cut her hand, and it started to bleed. If you are bleeding from a cut, you should put a Band-Aid on it. I'm bleeding. I need a Band-Aid. A man was hurt in a serious accident and bled to death before help arrived. You can apply pressure to a deep cut to help stop the bleeding. Oscar's nose bleeds very easily. The word bleed is a noun when it's used with the word nose. Some people suffer from nosebleeds in the winter because the air is so dry. Julian has a nosebleed, but he can stop it by pinching his nostrils together. Normally, a nosebleed doesn't hurt. The word blood is a noun. Blood dripped onto the floor when Vanessa cut herself. There's blood coming from Ron's knee because he fell and scraped it on the pavement. He has a bloody knee. Blend. You can blend food in a blender or a food processor. Carrie Underwood is known for blending country music with rock and other popular styles. Thai food blends spicy and sweet flavors together. The seed mix they're using is a blend of fescue, rye, and Kentucky bluegrass. This artist uses an interesting blend of colors and shapes to create her artwork. Devon Avenue in Chicago is a blend of Indian and Pakistani restaurants and businesses. When people or things blend in, they become part of a group and aren't too much in contrast with their surroundings. Some animals try to blend in with their environment to avoid detection by predators. Rajesh did his best to blend in with the other kids at the high school when his family moved to the U.S. from Sri Lanka. A bright yellow car does not blend in with a vast array of gray, silver, and taupe-colored cars in a parking lot, making it easier to find. Blind. A person who is blind has lost his or her sight. When this word is used literally, a person really can't see. Tony has been blind since he was a little boy. He was blinded in a tragic accident. Blind people can read by using Braille. People who are blind often use guide dogs. The word blind can also be used figuratively. In this case, a person has the physical ability to see, but fails to understand a situation or doesn't realize that something is true. Blinded by ambition, she neglected the responsibilities of raising her two children. Bob was blinded by Griselda's beauty and could not see the dark side of her personality. Maria is blind to the possibilities offered by a good college education. Sometimes we say we are blind because a condition creates difficulty for clear sight. She was temporarily blinded by the snow and the sunlight. This car has a blind spot. It's hard to see things on the left side. The driver was blinded by an oncoming car that had its brights on. The word blindness is a noun. Many people have some form of blindness past the age of 80. Blindness is difficult to cure. Ray Charles never allowed his blindness to get in the way of his interest in music. When this word is used as a noun in the plural form, it refers to window coverings. Blinds on the window provide privacy and control the amount of light entering a room. Could you please close the blinds? There's too much sun getting into the room. At night, they close the blinds. In the morning, they open them.
Bling. Normally, the word of the day section of the website is for ordinary words that my students have trouble with. Today, however, I'll show you how to use a relatively new slang word for jewelry and expensive accessories. It's good to learn about slang words because you hear them used in movies and in popular music. Paul Wall is known for wearing a lot of bling. Wow, check out the bling on that guy. If you wear too much bling, you might attract the attention of thieves. Denise doesn't like guys who wear a lot of bling. She's more interested in men who are conservative. Nick put a lot of bling into his car. Bling can take the form of chains, big crosses, earrings, belts, rings, sunglasses, wristwatches, anything that is metal, flashy, and attracts attention can be considered bling. Blister. A blister forms on a part of the body that is exposed to repeated friction or back and forth movement. Blisters form on hands and feet from repetitive work activity or from walking. Joe has a blister on his heel because he walked 5 miles today. One of the reasons for wearing socks on your feet is to avoid getting blisters. Rachel has blisters on her fingers because she played the guitar for several hours last night. It's a good idea to wear gloves when raking leaves. Otherwise, you might get blisters on your hands. I've got blisters on my fingers. The word blistering is sometimes used as an adverb or an adjective in place of very. It's blistering hot outside today. A few people fainted in the blistering heat.
The runner broke yet another world record with his blistering speed on the track. The construction project was completed with blistering speed. The skin on her back is blistering from a sunburn. Blizzard. A blizzard occurs when strong cold wind and moisture come together to produce a large amount of snow over one or more days. A blizzard warning was issued for the northeastern United States. The blizzard is expected to last for more than 2 days. It's best to stay inside during a blizzard. A strong blizzard can bury cars in snow, so travel is often restricted. When the blizzard is over, people use snow shovels and snow blowers to dig out their driveways and sidewalks. Schools cancel classes when there's a blizzard. Children get a snow day.